My name is Jason Cardamone, and on August 2nd, 2014, I'm walking in to a dark room surrounded by all 6 and 7 and 8-figure income earners, scared, not really knowing what's happening, but really being excited at the same time, realizing something special is about to happen as it's happening right then. This weird music's playing in the background, we're dancing, and here we are today, August 2nd of 2015, and my entire life has shifted in every single possible way. My health is much better. I'm stronger, faster, I'm running faster than ever. My bank account has never been this good my entire 40 years of my life. I've never been able to give as much money as we've been able to. And my relationship with my wife, my kids, all of it has increased greatly, including my relationships with all my business partners and acquaintances. So what I want to share about is some of the things that have happened over this past year, and really my intention, the whole outcome of this video, is for you to realize what's possible for you in the next year. And I don't care if you're seeing this on August 2nd, I don't care if you're seeing this on January 1st, I don't care if you're seeing this on your birthday or on somebody else's birthday or wherever. If you're at the worst part of your life, the best part ever, you think things can't get better. I don't care if you've been yo-yoing like I was. I don't care if you're like I was a year and a week ago, the end of July, where I didn't know how I was going to pay for my rent and everything else that was going to be happening a year ago from today. I literally didn't know how to afford our life, our frugal, super lifestyle, never run out to eat life back a year ago. I didn't know how we were going to pay for those things. And that was a year ago, and everything is completely different now. And this isn't about me or my story. This is only to inspire you and help you realize you have amazing gifts inside of you, and what you can accomplish with the correct focus over the next year, hell, over the next 90 days, can completely change everything in your past, no matter, regardless of where you're at today. So we're back at August 2nd, 2014 in this room, and I go there to meet this guy, this gentleman by the name of Matt Trainer, and little did I know how much he was going to impact my entire life over coming that next year. And I remember hearing things about, him sacrificing an 8-figure income and contract he had for what he was planting the seeds of that very weekend. And I remember looking around that room, there's a circle of people, and it was like 35, 36 people in that room. And as I looked around the room, I literally knew like a couple of the guy, I think 4 or 5 people that I even knew at all, including the guy who had invited me there. And I'd heard of Matt Trainer's name. I just had no idea the transformation that was about to happen in my life. So if you pay attention to what I focused on as I was in that room and as I went over the coming days and weeks and months, you're going to realize there's some distinctions, some things that you can focus on exactly like I did, and you can get on video. Or maybe you hate video, you can be telling the story, even if it's just through telling it by role modeling, because you don't even enjoy telling stories, and people look at you and they're inspired over what you become in these coming weeks and months and year. So there I was in that room, painted this amazing vision, and I was like, not only, now I can see why Frank Kern and John Azaraf and Darren Hardy and all these like amazing 7, 8, 9-figure earners, why they speak so highly of Matt Trainer. And I'm sitting there in this room looking at all these other 6 and 7 and 8-figure income earners there were people in that room I could share with you that they blow your mind, just individuals, and we're all entranced by this vision that Matt is sharing with us. And to realize what's happened over the last year and how much of that vision we've achieved and how much of it is coming in the coming weeks, months, and couple years, it is it's almost beyond belief. It's like I'm living in this false reality, and maybe I am. Maybe we all are. Maybe maybe we're all plugged in the matrix and this is all just a big game. I don't really know what your beliefs are. I don't know if you call your God like I do. I don't know if you're all in quantum mechanics and physics, and we can go into that stuff forever. It doesn't matter what your belief system is. It matters where your focus is and whether you pay attention, and are you digging down and even trying to figure out, do you know what your fullest potential is inside? Do you even know a fraction of it? Did you give up on it years ago? Where are you going to change your focus? Because, my friend, it doesn't matter whatever happened in the past. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter what happened 2 minutes ago in this video. The only thing that matters is where you focus on right now, because that's what determines where you're going to be tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. And I want to share with you some things that I focused on, and some things just blessed, like randomly dumb luck stumbled onto. Some was purposeful, some was dumb luck, some was just sheer work, and some was just sheer being in the right place, timing, luck. Some of it was synchronicity, some of it was complete miracles and blessings, and maybe all of it was all of those things or none of those things. But here's what happened. So that week, led into a week later. So there I am the weekend of August 9th and 10th, and it's funny, if you have any so I've been in the network marketing industry since May of 2006, as well as the internet marketing industry even before that. And as I look back on, there's this saying of like 5, get 5, get 5, and next thing you know, you take over the world. But what's really hilarious is that the weekend of August 9th and 10th, 1 week later, I found myself back out in San Diego, back to back. I've never gone anywhere back to back weekends in my entire life. That was the beginnings of doing stuff way outside of my comfort zone. Was it comfortable to take my very last money and pay for those plane flights going out to San Diego when I literally didn't even know how I was going to eat? When the hotel room had to be paid for by a company? When things had to happen that were I didn't plan, I didn't know how it was going to work out. I had to room with other people. I had to make things happen that were way outside of my comfort zone. I remember taking a shower, and I have all my nice, I have a couple sets of clothes, like the last clothes to my name. I remember laying out a pair of clothes on the toilet, and I take a shower, and I didn't realize this crappy hotel I was in that I couldn't even afford was going to leak through the roof and ruin my clothes that I had for that weekend. Ruin them for permanently. Like get rust and stuff on them that leaked right out of the ceiling. I had no idea all these things that was going to happen and how I was going to have to adapt and take all these leaps of faith. But that's one of the skills. You have to learn to take massive action and take leaps of faith. I had no idea any of that. There's thousands of things that happened that I was going to have to adapt to way outside of my comfort zone. But here's what's interesting. If this is your comfort zone, this is where I was a year ago. What happened is things happened and they pushed my comfort zone. Where I've come to today is a comfort zone that's literally at least 3, 4, 5 times bigger at least. And where I know where I'm going and what I continue to do is always push on, because it's you're in this comfort bubble and you're always stretching it out, and next thing you know, your comfort zone expands. And where I am going and exactly where you can go is to have a much bigger comfort zone. Much bigger in every way. Financially, health-wise, relationships, spiritually, emotionally, physically, in every possible way, you can continue to expand your comfort zone. And you do that by taking leaps of faith, by taking massive action, by focusing on your skills. And so, it's hilarious, the 5 get 5 get 5. I had 5 people that I knew that actually flew out or drove out to San Diego. They were there on the weekend of August 9th and 10th, again listening to Matt Trainer. This time we brought another guy in by the name of Michael Burnoff, and I remember sitting there, it was on August 9th. Michael Burnoff came and spoke for maybe 90 minutes or so, I don't know exactly, but I can tell you, I had a complete breakthrough right then. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened, but he had painted something, a pattern I had been living for many years. And he just called it out right there to the whole room, but it's as if he was talking directly to me. I didn't even know what was happening. I was completely tuned in. In fact, there were moments I literally thought he was Tony Robbins. He's this tall guy. He's built. They have dark hair. They have deep voices. They both speak. I literally, my brain couldn't tell the difference because I'd never met Michael before. My brain started, mixing things up. And it's as if the room just disappeared and there was this guy dressed in dark, speaking in ways that were just directly connecting with me. And I ended up just breaking down and crying it's instantly back because I'm living there right now. And I couldn't even speak as he got done and he started going around the room. And I was like, I did my whole life. And he's all, I have no idea what you... First of all, he said, stop. Take a deep breath. So I took a deep breath. And I tried to explain what I was feeling. And he said, I think what you're trying to say is this, and that's awesome. You had a breakthrough. And I went out in the hallway. It's hard to get out. That coming minutes, we go on a break, and I go out in the hallway, and there's a few people, including a guy with a book, shoving his book in Michael's face, trying to dude, read my book. I remember that very intensely. And I went up, and I didn't want to interrupt. There's a couple people talking to Michael, but I just went up, and I went up and shook his hand. I said, thank you. I just had I don't even know what, I just wanted to say thank you. And I think he said something like he had a breakthrough. I saw that happen. And I didn't realize, because nothing had really happened between August 2nd and August 9th, besides I was on the phone a lot that week, calling literally way outside of my comfort zone. I've been the guy for so many years saying, dude, screw sales. I used to be in sales. I used to make 300 cold calls a day. I started a company that went on to do multi-6 and 7 figures a month. It was like Boiler Room. I started a company exactly like that with one of my good friends and another shady guy. And we started that company, and it was exactly like Boiler Room. We were making 300 calls a day, and it sucked. And I said I would never do calls again. But what happened was I was inspired by something Matt had said on August 2nd. It was the vision for what became known as WooCar. Now, I don't care if you love WooCar or you hate WooCar. By the way, it stands for Wake Up, Kick Ass, Repeat. Because this isn't just about the vision of WooCar, it's about the attitude of what that means, and it's about what you can do. I don't want you to join. It has nothing to do with WooCar, but it has everything to do with waking up, kicking ass, and repeating. This isn't some pitch. The only pitch here is for you to realize what's inside you and for you to step in and gain the skills and take the action and expand your comfort zone and take the leaps of faith. That's what this entire thing is about. That's the only purpose of this video. So what became WooCar, this vision that was planted by Matt, little did I know that the breakthrough and all the stuff that had happened, like Matt introducing me to people like Michael Burnoff and Dr. Doug and all these people that did dozens and dozens and dozens of people, all these breakthroughs that happened over that coming year, this last year since then, I didn't realize all the things that were going to happen. But I did realize I was just really excited about this vision, and it wasn't even called WooCar at that point. And something Michael said, I literally had a breakthrough right there, and we have not yo-yoed in income for the last year. What we've done is just shot through the complete roof. And now, just like you can live any kind of life, maybe, I remember, gosh, I filed bankruptcy back in 2005, and I remember for so many years where we can even go out to you, I remember our first couple kids for years, my wife and I would only go out once per year, and it was for Valentine's Day. One time a year we go out to eat is for Valentine's Day. Maybe 2 or 3 times, and the other second and third time, guys, I remember going in 2006 or 7, 8. I remember going into McDonald's, And this was like a date night because I'd learned from someone in 2006 to like celebrate things anyway. And even if you can't afford it, go to McDonald's, whatever, and spend a few bucks. So we go to McDonald's, we spend like $8 or $10. And I remember I was trying to focus on my health. And I remember like, I don't even know what I can eat. This food all sucks. So I got fries and maybe a shake or something. I think I was still having dairy back then. And I got my... I got my wife her favorite thing, which at the time was a Big Mac, like, meal. And we got that meal, and I remember sitting at the McDonald's and sitting there with my wife, and I remember eating my fries and her eating that meal, and that was a celebration for us. And I don't know what we were even celebrating, but I can tell you what things look like now. Like yesterday, we went out to a place called Ruby Tuesday, and my 3 kids and my wife and I, we just ordered whatever we wanted to because we could. The week before, we went out to sushi, and the week before that, my brother was in town. We went out to a hibachi grill where they like cooked the meal in front of you, and we literally didn't even care what the pricing was, and I paid for other people, and everything's transformed because what I had inside of me was I love going out to eat, and I love paying for people that go with us, and I wanted to go out all the time and just pay for people, and we now do that on a very regular basis. But years ago, that was my dream. And that, in fact, it was a dream I had started to give up on because I had no idea that in the month of October 2014, just like not August 2nd is when I first met Matt in person finally. So month of August, September, October. I had no idea that 60 to 90 days after I had met Matt, I was going to make more money that month than 2 years worth of my software engineering salary back in 98 when I was working at Lockheed Martin. I had no idea that I could make 25 times as much income as I could graduating college as an engineer. I had no idea that's the kind of things that were possible, and that's not even a fraction of my potential. But I'm sharing those kind of things not to brag. I want to show you what's possible for you. I want you to step in and feel what that's like. I remember not being able to go out to eat at all, and now we just go out, we do. I remember, guys, this last Christmas, I remember walking out of Best Buy, and I remember being at a mall near our house, and in both places, walking through with my wife. And I remember literally going into every single store and knowing we could buy any single thing in any store we wanted to. And it didn't matter what store, it didn't matter what it was, that if I chose to, we could buy anything we wanted to. And I'd never been at that point in my whole life. And I don't know exactly what's going to happen in the next year, but I know it's going to be a lot greater than what I've been able to do because of the focus on the skills and always expanding the comfort zone and always taking massive action. I remember, so I have this software that manages everything. It keeps track of how many minutes I'm on the phone. So when I'm on the phone, it tracks every single minute. It tracks everything down to the minute that I do. It tracks what sites I'm on. It tracks what I do when I'm on a computer. The only things it doesn't track is like when I'm in the shower, or when I'm sleeping, or when I'm in like eating. So if I'm not on a computer, I'm not plugged into technology somewhere, it doesn't track that. And I remember in 2014, during all those runs, there were several weeks that it tracked at least 100 up to 133 hours. Do you realize there's only 168 hours in an entire week? Do you realize what's left over there is 68 minus 33, like 35 hours in the whole week? That is an average of 5 hours a day that it wasn't tracking. So that means 5 hours a day, I was sleeping, eating, taking a shower, doing something that wasn't like growing business-oriented stuff. Now I want you to think about what that really means. The average person works like 40 hours a week. That's more than 3 times what an average person does in a week. In what an average person does 1 week, I was doing more than 3 times in a week. And so you have to take massive action. Now guys, I don't do it. There's weeks where, since 2010, 11, 12, and 13, for those 4 years, I averaged 4 months out of the year where I didn't do anything at all. So now we're talking not 3 times more. We're talking, instead of 2 weeks off, we're talking 12 weeks off per year. We're talking 4 months out of 12, 35, 1/3 of every, 35%, 1/3 of every single year, I didn't do anything at all. So I'm not trying to tell you like I work 133 hours every single week, because honestly, there's some weeks I don't do anything at all. But there are weeks where I work my tail off because I get excited and inspired. And you have to find that inspiration inside, whether it comes from someone like Matt, whether it comes from a video like this, whether it comes from some kind of expert that is helping you to inspire and role model and paint what the vision is for you, whether it comes from a book you're reading, whether it comes from anything else you're doing. You have to realize you have to find that inspiration. And whether it comes from your higher power just inside yourself, like it has for me so many times. That you just wake up in the middle of the night and you decide to look at your former life and say, screw you, I'm done living in mediocrity. I'm going to step up into my fullest God-given potential because there's something greater. And I'm going to course correct. And I'm going to realize this isn't working. I'm going to do something different, even if that's just take a little more action. Even if it's I'm going to focus on just a skill set. I know I need this skill. I've been playing small. I've been avoiding this skill. I'm going to focus and master this skill today. And I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it again, and then I'm going to look back and realize how much better I've become. I purposely left some things on the board for you guys. The reason was because I wanted to show you. I used to just turn on a camera. And I now go through a process because I'm always expanding, I'm always growing a skill set. And that skill set is being a better communicator. And one of those many, many dozens of things I'm doing is realizing the communication is not about me turning on the camera and just saying stuff out of my mouth. The communication is about how you are receiving, how you're feeling, what are you envisioning, what are you hearing as the words are coming out of my mouth and going into your ears, and you're starting to pay more attention what is really happening in your world. That's what communication really is. And how do I do that better? I plan out stuff on the board. I plan things out. I don't just turn on a camera. I have a set of things that I want you to focus on. Skills, taking action. Focus on the skills, focus on the action. I didn't go into these a lot, but that's as we're ending this video on inspiring you what's possible for you in this next year. That one of the most rich, so this really came from some of my close friends, some people I've worked with this last year. Guys, I've coached well over 1,000 people since one-on-one coaching. In groups, it would be tens of thousands, maybe over 100,000 by now. If you look at all the videos and the groups and the speaking and everything I've done, that one of the biggest things I've seen is that the biggest risk you can take is not risking at all. One of the biggest risks for you, that if you were to look forward and say, my God, I got to protect my 401k, I got to protect my time, I got to protect my family, I got to protect my house, got to protect my health, whatever you're trying to protect. One of the biggest ways, the biggest, most risky thing you can do is to sit there and think protect means this. Because the way you really protect things is to always grow and to expand and to get better. Whatever I have some really good friends right now. They're sitting on some small ass 401k, whether it's 10,000 or 100,000 or $1 million, and they think that's security. That is nothing. Do you realize the world is changing so fast? You look around. And as bad as things can seem, and there's a lot of crap in the world, that's why you have to step up and figure out what your gifts are and step out, because they ripple out into the world all around you. And first you become better, and then you inspire others, whether it's through role modeling or even challenging them to think in a new way, and your life gets better, and then their life starts to get better, and all these ripples start going out in every direction. The whole world starts to get better, but it starts with you. And if you're playing small and you're looking at what you have now and you're like protecting it all and like, oh, this is my stuff, I can't like let this stuff go, that's playing safe like that, you're screwed. The only people who can afford to do that, it's people like Bill Gates. And is he doing that? Hell no. It's when you're at the ultra top of the ultra game, that's when you can afford to like try to do that kind of stuff. And look at those people. They don't give a shit about that stuff. You know why? Because they realize the skills they have, nobody can ever take away from them. The skills they gain, the people they inspire, the things they do, the action they take, nothing can ever take that away. So they could actually take all this, chuck it out in the world, make the world a better place, and then they have nothing and they're like, you know what? I have the skills to go make it all like that. That's why Matt's willing to give up a multi-eight-figure business for this vision he has and do everything he has, because he knows the skills he has, nobody can ever take that away. The network, the people that back him, the real people that matter, that's what he has, and that's his net. And people come and go all the time, guys. That's one of the biggest things. I grew up just wanting people to like me. And I was so worried about that all the time. I would go everywhere worried about what everybody was thinking. How the hell can I turn on a video and be myself and inspire you when I'm afraid of what you think? I can't. That's why my videos used to suck. It's why my communications used to suck. It's why I wasn't nearly as influential or persuasive as when I've surrounded myself, instead of surrounding myself by 5 and 6 figure income earners, I now surround myself by 7 and 8 figure income earners, because, and this should be, it's perfect, it's right there, because our life becomes the people we surround ourselves by and the books we read. So why do I read way more books? Why did I spend $50,000 just in the last 12 months on my personal development? Why did I do that? On all the courses I went to, all the books, all of the seminars, all of the coaching. Why did I do all that in the past 12 months? $50,000. That's more than I made my first year as a software engineer, right out of college. I did that because nobody can ever take that. That $50,000, nobody can take that. The government can't take it away. You can't take it away. Nothing. Nobody. It's a part of me forever. Because I don't just go and sit there and go. I know some. I was speaking at an event this past November, and it was the first time I was so excited that we had this event. It was like 600-700 people, and I had over 100 people from my network marketing team were at this event, and I'd never had more than like 5 or 10 ever. So I'm there at the morning of my team event, this private team just for my team that I call Team Inspire. And I'm in this room surrounded by 100 people in my team. And one of my friends in that room is sitting in the front row, and he's sitting there like this, like he knows everything. Like, you know what this is? This is body language saying, fuck you. This is body language saying, I'm closed off, I don't want to hear what you say, I'm superior to you, and my mind and my body and my emotions and my spirit is closed off to you and to God and to everybody around me, because there is some kind of thing I'm not willing to deal with, and I'm going to be closed off to the world. And that, guys, it broke my heart back then. But then I started to realize what's really happening here. And I looked around, at first it distracted me so much I was ignoring the other 99 people in the room that were actually there and excited and inspired and fired up. And one of the things I realized, I can either focus on the one or the 99. Where am I going to be more impactful? What's going to make a bigger difference? What's going to keep me emotionally sane? What's going to drain my energy or impact my energy? Because I remember we did this exercise that day, and the people that played full out, I remember looking out, and I just got this huge impact of energy when I was focused on the people that were there for growth, not the people that were there for death. Because you're either growing or dying. You're spiraling up or you're spiraling down. There is no flat line. Guess what this does? Guess what this does? You can guess which direction you're going. So you get to make a choice every single day on the people you're hanging around, what you're taking in from the environment around you. This person was still there, just like all these people were still in the room, but it was a matter of what my eyes were focusing on, what I was allowing my feelings to focus on, who was I listening to. What you get to choose. You're bombarded by over 2 million bits of information every second of every day. And you get to focus on, as you pay attention, what are you paying attention to? The amazing things around your life, or the things that are dragging you down back into your past, your old ways of belief? You get to choose that every single moment as you pay attention and put your focus and what skills you're focused on. So my friend, I don't know exactly what you can achieve in the next year. What I do know is that it's far greater than you can even possibly dream of right now. Because as you start to improve more and more, as you start to focus on skills, you start to gain more confidence. And as you start to gain more confidence, you start to grow. And as you start to grow, you start to expand your comfort zone. And as you start to expand your comfort zone, you start to feel even better about your life. And as you start to feel even better about your life, you start to inspire people around you. And as you start to inspire people all around you, you grow even further. And as you grow even further, you get a new perspective on life. And as you gain new perspective, you start to realize the stuff you knew before, you couldn't even see because you have a brand new perspective. And now you start to dream of the life you're actually getting onto, and that what your possibilities are. And as you start to do that even more and more, you start to realize you have even deeper gifts you never even realized before. And as you start to find these deeper gifts, you start to impact greater amounts of people all around you, and then they start to impact you. And as everybody's impacting each other, it can either be in a positive way or it can be in a negative way. And you get to choose that by what you focus on. And that starts with you focusing on the skills you need. It starts with you focusing on what you are going for, not what's been holding you back in the past. It's all about the people. Are you going to surround yourself by people that make 10, 100, 1,000 times more than you do, that have 1,000 times more impact in the world, that are 1,000 times more intelligent than you, that are 1,000 times more healthy than you? Are you going to surround yourself by people like that, or are you going to surround yourself by what's comfortable and what you've done your whole life? Because what got you to where you're at today is exactly what you focused on. And you can look back in any moment in your life and the best times of your life, and what got you there was a very specific set of focus and skills and what you were allowing to come into your environment. So what's going to happen over this next year? That's your choice. I've done my job was to give you a little piece of what's possible, and to give you a little piece of some of the hells I've been through and the heavens I've visited. And I just wanted to share, because I know you have something deep inside of you, and you wouldn't even be here anymore, but you have unique God-given gifts inside of you, and you share some of them with me, you share some of them with Matt, you share some of them with other people all around the world, and some of the most inspirational people you know, that you can think of them, and as you're picturing them and hearing their very voice right now, as you can hear their voice and how that starts to make you feel inside, they're there for a reason. And they impact you like that for a reason, because you share some gifts inside with that inspirational person. And it is your purpose, so that when you're on your dying bed and you're looking back on your life, you can look back with a feeling of accomplishment, of a feeling of purpose, like you did live. You dug out, you dug deeper, and you figured out even more of your God-given gifts. And right now, as you're taking even more action than them and dreaming even bigger, starting to realize, looking back on your whole life, thank God I lived this life. Because if you don't, there's an alternative reality. And it's the one if you choose to not take action. It's the one you choose to live like this. It's the one you choose the people that left the video in the first 30 seconds. And even the one that left a minute ago and they got pissed off at me. That choice is the one where you look back and say, man, life sucks. And what happens? You start to impact your children, your parents, everybody around you. And they're like, man, look it, life does suck. They're the person I'm looking up to. Do you realize somebody's looking up to you for inspiration right now? And if you're giving a message of life sucks, life sucks, my life sucks, your life sucks, everything should suck. Let's just suck together. That message, you are inspiring, impacting people all around you, even if they used to look up to you, because that's exactly what's happened. You lose their people are following you all the time and your impact on them. You lose your impact on people if you continue to stay, if they choose to grow. Now, if they choose to stay in the mediocrity and that's where you're choosing, that's the reality of life. And you can look back and say, look at how much life sucks and I'm surrounded by people and everything sucks. And see, I told you it sucked. And everybody agrees with you because that's what you've surrounded your life by, because you've been living like this and you've been living like this. Or you can choose to focus on those skills. You can choose to go to the places you need to go, to read the books, to surround yourself by people like Michael Burnoff and Matt Trainer and experts. And you can choose to step into your fullest God-given potential, even if it's you just discover the tiniest little gift. And guys, I know it can be intimidating. I had no idea what I was able to accomplish in the last year, but what I did was focus in that very second. I didn't worry about tomorrow. I didn't worry about spending the money as I flew out to Dubai and I literally spent our last couple $1,000s on the plane ticket. I had no idea money was right behind it filling our bank account. I literally spent our last money doing that, and I did that dozens and dozens of times to where all of a sudden the skills and the action, everything caught up, and then I got to a point where I couldn't spend it fast enough and it came in even faster. And now I give thousands of dollars a month away to causes and to people and to things that really need it. And it's replaced just right behind it. And that's exactly one fraction of what you're capable of able to do in the next year. Because I look back on August 2nd of 2014, and as I walked into that dark room, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know how many people I was going to be able to impact. I didn't know my entire marriage and my relationship with my children and with my neighborhood and everything was going to change in such a positive way and be so deeply impactful. And I was going to be surrounded by people that always pull me up and hold me more accountable. And they're always encouraged me to do better no matter what's happening. And I just remember walking into that room, and maybe like this video, the music was a little different. There's just something a little bit different. Exactly like in that room last August 2nd, that things were a little different. And maybe that's all it was just this little video. And you're going to be years down looking back. There was some guy in a crazy shirt saying things like, wake up, kick ass, and repeat. And you don't know my name because it doesn't matter. And you look back and say, something happened during that video. And I found it deep inside of me to go focus on that one thing, and I'm doing it right now. And as I did that, it did this and this and this whole ripple effect, and your entire world is impacted all around you because you chose to take action right now. Because where you go in the next week, the next year, is completely up to you, and you need to take 100% responsibility for that. Because I can't do it for you. Nobody else can do it for you. It's all up to you, and you manifest the very life you want to create. Is it going to be easy? Hell no. Is it going to be comfortable? Absolutely not. Is it going to be risky? Absolutely yes. Are you going to have to grow your comfort zone? Yes. Are you going to have to read some books and get around some people that will challenge you and inspire you and encourage you and pour love into you? Yes. Are you going to have to get the right kind of coaching? Are you going to have to grow? Are you going to have to take more action than you've ever taken in your life? Yes. But look at the alternatives. One dying bed looks back on gratitude and fulfillment. One dying bed looks back on hatred and regret. And my friend, the choice is all yours. And what you choose, what action you choose to take right now. So you get out of this video, you go take that action you know you need to take. And I'll see you somewhere on this amazing journey. And don't ever forget to wake up, kick ass, and repeat. Love you so much. Please go take action. Share I don't care what you do with this video. Do whatever you got to do and make a claim and statement to the world that you are not standing for a life of mediocrity any longer, and you are stepping up into your fullest God-given potential. And it all starts right now with that focus on that one thing. You know what it is. Get out there and do it now.